You're watching E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to do our preview for the next episode of The Walking Dead entitled Strangers. So once again, please bear with me as I'm still recovering from the flu, which is why I may sound congested. But let's talk about next week's episode. Well, first of all, just a couple of things about the last episode I want to mention that I didn't talk about in my review. I did not mention that the Tyrese beat down on that guy, which he greatly deserved, for even coming a sniff's close to Judith, and Tyrese finally stepping up. And this, honestly, I know this sounds crazy. This is the Tyrese I want to see. It's not that I don't like the character. It's not that I like, and don't get me wrong, the actor is fantastic, but he's been on the cusp of being like superhero warrior for such a long time that to finally see him, like when he broke through that door and he picked that guy up and he like spiked him to the ground and beat on him, that's how Tyrese is going to need to be sometimes. But, so that was a fantastic scene to see. I know that I didn't mention that in my review. I like to try and cover as much of the episode I can, especially the key points, without making it a 45-minute marathon of a video. So, in terms of the next episode, based on what we saw in this episode, and based on the title and the synopsis, and if you guys haven't checked out the synopsis, it's already up. I'm going to read it real quick. And it says, Strangers, the episode. Rick leads a risky mission for a possible small reward when the supplies run low and the group's mistrust of people grows. So, I mean, right away you know that they're probably referring to the short scene that we see, where Carl really pushes Rick to go and save what turns out to be Father Gabriel. All right. Now, in terms of strangers, I mean, we got to remember, while this group is back together, there are some additions to the group who don't know each other. Abraham, Rosita, and Eugene do not know Rick, do not know Michonne, do not know Carl, and they very barely know, Sasha, Maggie, because remember, Glenn and Tara were with Abraham, Eugene, and Rosita the whole time until they finally caught up with Maggie, Sasha, Bobby, or Bob. Some people get all butthurt if you call him Bobby. So even though it's his name. And, so now you got that group together. Now, and again, Tara is the wild card here. And I mentioned this in a couple of my videos before the season started. She's the wild card because remember, and they even mentioned it in The Talking Dead, and this is something I'm sure a lot of people are aware of. She's the wild card because remember, Rick even directly spoke to her during episode 8 of last year when he was like, "You in the ponytail, is this what you want?" It's only a matter of time before he's going to recognize her. Okay. I'm pretty certain that Maggie, A, doesn't know who she is, and B, doesn't even realize that she was right there when the governor chopped off Herschel's head. So and these are things that are going to come to light. There's no way around it. Then you're going to have a power struggle between Rick and Abraham. These are two leaders right now that, one is determined to keep his group together, keep the family together, and survive and find a place to survive, while another is determined to get to Washington and would see the benefit of bringing a group of this size to Washington with the key to protect Eugene because Eugene has this cure, or at least supposedly has this cure. So there's going to be a lot of confrontation. With that said, let's keep in mind Gareth isn't dead. I mean, we saw him shot in the shoulder, but he's not dead. Not all the termites are dead. So, I mean, the theme of all these commercials leading up to season 1 was hunt, hunt, hunt. Well, I think it's pretty obvious who's going to do the hunting now. So when you take into consideration an internal power struggle in the group, disagreement, mistrust, combo that with saving someone who, according to the synopsis, may not be worth saving or worth the risk of saving, and then couple that with a group of termites who are probably tracking the group as we speak. Because remember, we found out in the first episode that the termites are spread along the outer perimeter of Terminus with efforts to control the walkers, to keep them at bay, to do distraction tactics to keep them from away from Terminus. So a lot of these scouts are still out there. And, Gareth is probably going to round them up. They had radio communication, so there's a great possibility they still have their walkie-talkies. There's going to be a lot of shit going down. And we may not see that termite activity in this episode per se, but I think we're going to see how the internal struggle of the group is going to play to the early advantage for the termites. That's just my opinion. So it's going to be an interesting second episode, because while it ended on such a great note, reunion, Judith is back, Carol and Daryl are back together, so to speak. Now it's like, wait a minute, who's this dude? Wait a minute, who's this chick? Wasn't she with the governor, motherfucker? So like, you're going to see a lot of that. And while that's happening, you're going to see the termites. They're going to catch up. They're going to be watching them. They're going to be seeing their moves. They're going to look for a point where they can strike. It's going to get real. It's going to get real. And I think it's going to be an exciting episode. I think, we're going to see some things that maybe we won't expect to see. I feel confident to say there's going to be a life or two that's going to go, maybe earlier than we think. But who knows? Cause it's a big group now. Think about it. It's a big group, and you can only focus on all these characters for so long before you got to get rid of some, just to focus on the ones who mean more towards the story down the line. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say Tara's a wild card, because how much does she mean to the story down the line? But on the flip side of that, she brings a lot of intriguing elements to the story because of where she was last year. So that's why I say keep an eye out on her, because she's the kind of character right now that can go either way. She could be a character that could play a major role in a lot of things because of where she was, or she's a character that can just be used as fodder and not, go anywhere in the future. She might be just for the now, and then she gets taken care of. So, but I definitely will keep an eye on her. I think she's the wild card here because of what she was before and what she represents now, and possibly what she might represent in the future. A good redemption story. Someone who's had their own someone who's had their own tragedies in terms of losing her niece, losing her sister, and then seeing such violent acts and being the odd man out, and then to come around and be a pivotal member of the group. That's a great story. So that's why I think definitely just focus on Tara. Let's see where she goes, because I think she's the intriguing piece to this puzzle right now because of everything that she was last year and what she represents now. So, but so overall, episode 2, I think definitely a big internal struggle. Obviously, with Rick and Abraham will be a big deal. Tara, like I said, focus on that. Definitely keep an eye out on Tara. I think she plays a big role, and she could play a big role in a lot of things to come, or not. It all depends, but she's that wild card element, and I like that. That's cool. And then to see how the other group gets along with each other, those who don't know each other, I think there'll definitely be a lot of distress amongst the group while the termites take that time to recover and plan and hunt them down. And we'll see how things go from there. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video preview. You can expect my review for the episode 2 to be Sunday night shortly after the episode. Also, definitely, I'm going to start linking the homepage to my podcast in these videos, so that way you can check them out. We will be doing Walking Dead dedicated podcast once a week, and I will be doing one this Wednesday with a guest on the show, and that should be a lot of fun. And then from there, we'll definitely be talking Walking Dead a little bit more in detail, a little bit more spoiler heavy, especially with the comic books. So you can keep your eyes out for that in the description. I'll put the link there now, but there's nothing up there in case you come back and you want to check it out. Otherwise, it'll be in the description going forward. This is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching E.T.N. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. Join the nation's Facebook page to meet other subscribers, or visit E.T.N's Facebook page and Twitter page. Links for all are in the description.